I'm going to become much more precise in what separates me and my thinking from normative Jewish thinking today. And it's predicated on my view of Tikkun Olam. That's an accepted metaphor or essence of Judaism, that we're in sort of, that it's up to the Jew to Tikkun Olam, to repair the world. You see? And they go about, whatever they do is a Tikkun Olam. For me, that's a linear progression. You know, it's in a line that we're starting off and we're moving to a final conclusion of a reparation, of a repairing of something that's wrong, broken. See, I think the world's perfect as it is. You see? Mine is a circular view of the universe, not a linear view, not the straight lines of linear progress, but a circular view of the eternal return of the same. The same but slightly different, in that each day is unique, but each day is the same. Mine is the Gilgulim view of the universe, not the Yasha, not the straight. There was never a fall in Gan Eden. There was never a fall. I didn't make that up. Now the Ahris' entire opus, Isaac Lurier's entire Kabbalah, is predicated on a Tikkun Olam, at least on the surface. And so, for me, I'm not into that. I'm into the circular, a love of fate. I'm more Fatih, or something like that, which would make Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, into a Jewish commentator of the eternal return of the same. If not one day, at least 1 week. The 6 days of creation. And then a Shabbos. And we repeat this. It's the same thing as we think that we come out of Egypt and have Pesach every day. Every day we're supposed to feel that we're coming out of Egypt. That's why we say the prayers in the morning. So for me, this world is perfect. The world is perfect as it is, and this is where the fundamental thing of the halakha has to be understood. The halakha not as a yes, no, but as a yes for both sides. A yes-sayer. And so, this to me is an inclusion of the Aint Soft, an inclusion with the Sitra Akra. Remember that the two initial letters of Aleph Samech and Aint Soft, when they're reversed, become Samech Aleph, that's Sitra Akra. So there's a parallel between Aint Soft and Sitra Akra. And the real secret in my Judaism is to find out that the Aint Soft's really in the Sitra Akra. and that whatever happens is what's supposed to happen. This doesn't mean that you're not going to change some tomorrow, because, as I said earlier, each time you go to sleep, you get a different soul. When you wake up, a different spark. Nobody said that you're not elevating, but even in this, everybody thinks that in Olam Haba you'll still elevate. Well, that's where you are now, in Olam Haba. So let's look at some of the things that we think make it no Olam Haba. There's no third temple. Well, there is a third temple. Your body is the third temple. There's not going to be a third temple come down miraculously. We have this one wall there, the Western Wall. That's enough. That's what it's going to be. The body that we have right now is the third temple. Okay? We're all going to go to Jerusalem or to Israel. No. The great secret is the diaspora. That's what makes and saves a Jew, that he has no homeland, that he is, in a Bruce Lee sense, like water. He can spread anywhere like water. Go into any crevice like water. That's the great secret of the mikvah. There will never be a redemption, so to speak, because there was no irredemption. This is it. What is? There's not going to be a return to Israel. It's a myth. It's a truth as a myth. Why can't a truth be a myth? Something to keep you going. So some of the aspects in Judaism are put in there to keep you going. You see? Keep you improving within Olam Haba, as if you need to Tikkun Olam, or need to Tikkun yourself, to get to this next level, to get to the redemption level. But the way we are right now is the real level, Galus. See? No homeland. There's a great beauty here. The world as it is perfect. And it always was. And that's the recognition that you have to make. That your one day is repeated ad infinitum. That your one day is every day. That you're not improving because you're already perfect. You can improve in perfection, but you can't improve to become perfect. You can improve once you recognize that you're perfect, but you can't become from not perfect to perfect. And this is a great deep secret that you have to recognize. And for me, that's Judaism. So I see this here as people really not practicing the essence of Judaism. The essence of Judaism is that you have a spark of God, a yehida of God. That makes you perfect right away. You don't have to do anything for it. You got it. And you always did. There are many other aspects. The esoterics in a lot of other religions and in secular thought can help propel one in Judaism if they embrace it and learn. The Jews have to learn from the other side, so to speak. There's a lot of esoterics in Islam that that are beneficial for Judaism. The concept of the Qutbah, the concept of the Kaaba, the concept of the circular Sufi dance around the Qutbah. Esoterics are the essences of religion. Circularity came before linear. See, the head and the tail come together as the Ouroboros. Ouroboros is a Greek word. Samach is a Hebrew letter. There are so many things. Once you recognize the world as perfect as it is, then it becomes total joy, total simcha, hana, tanug, because you've got nothing to do. You have to do nothing except recognize this. Instead of, I got to work, got to do, yeah. So let me talk a little bit about tzedakah. Tzedakah is done for you, not for the person that you think you're giving the dollar to. That person doesn't need your dollar because everything comes down as man. If you think that that dollar is the man for that person, then fine. But everything is taken care of for everybody. So when you give the dollar to the person who's really doing you a favor is the guy who's got his hand out for the dollar. He doesn't need it. You need to give it. On television just the other day, I saw some people doing Thanksgiving, some like famous people doing Thanksgiving dinners to the poor, to the homeless. How they spooned out those portions. Oh, they were wonderful. They were spooning out to people, and the people are eating, and they're spooning out, and they're feeling good. Is that tzedakah? So tzedakah comes from the word zadok. Zadok. And so feel what a zadok is, and then that's the Zadok's action is tzedakah. And if you think that is like I'm doing something for somebody else, I'm like wonderful, I'm doing something, I'm giving him $1, then that's fine. But that's not it either. It's done because you need it. Otherwise, the world is perfect. The way it is. You do not have to, you do not need a state of Israel. You don't need anything. We're in the diaspora. In a certain sense, every country is Yisrael. Every speck of the world is Yisrael. Any place a Jew is Yisrael. Not in some little space. Because how do I know I'm right? Because that's the way it is right now. You see? That's how I know I'm right. Now the next thing is, if they want it, if other people want it, if Palestinians want it, if somebody wants something that's yours, so to speak, give it to them. No resistance. Why? Because here's now a very deep thing. And this you may not have heard before. Because there's a transcendence of ego. Ego. Go away. Ego away. There's a transcendence that takes place. And one becomes not a he or a she, but an it. It is raining. It is windy out. It is snowing. When you lose the concept of ego and gender, and as I've said, become a tree in Aint Soft. You're a tree. You're not a male or a female. Sounds modern, doesn't it now? You know, in gender dialect, they call them they. A he and a she is a they. No, for me, it's not a they. Look to be an it. You see? That's a transcendence. And that's the potential that we always were. But what has caused this? One of the things that's caused it, in my opinion, is synagogue life. Of course you need tzedakah in synagogue life. You know, I'm on this web too. I get all day long emails for, I don't know if they call it tzedakah, but, you know, charitable donations. So they perpetuate, you see, this idea of help us Tikkun Olam. Help us build our community. Help us go better. We need your support. And so this in itself, this idea of a perpetuation of the established norms, makes it even more difficult to break out of the established norms, which by their own definition have to be transcended for them to be successful. For there to be a Tikkun Olam, they have to transcend where they are. Now it's the same way in medicine, same way in education. All these institutions have us locked in. Politics, locked in. Do I need to say more than how the Republicans are reacting today? Actually, today, these institutions have us locked in, and you can't transcend them. And say they have these mental images that lock us in. So how are we going to get out of those mental images? And that's, we change linear thought to circular thought. Yasha to Giggling. We change, instead of Tikkun Olam, we change that we're in the Olam Haba. There was never a fall. You are, Mordecai Liner, Ibiza. I'm not the only one. Drop it. Drop anything that causes friction. Run away from the fight. A Jew is not a warrior. Let the others have war. You study. I'm not telling you to do anything. That's the spark of Hashem that's within you. See? You want to be successful? Pray for it. It'll occur. There are many dimensions that you don't know about, that you get intuitions about, and you say, oh, it can't be. And that's the way it is here. You can't believe your eyes because they're telling you that you're blind. And then when you see, they say, how can you? That's not it. And it takes time. Sadly, it takes time. And my role is not to tell you what to do, but to try to save you time. And if I can save you time, I'm doing a lot. Time is the commodity. Don't give a minute up to somebody else. Avoid being a wage slave, like Karl Marx said. Love fate, like Friedrich Nietzsche said. And these are preliminary remarks about what my position is and how, personally, I think this is the essence of halakha. And all these things are structured there for you to get to what I just said. And we'll continue from here.